ready now.
With Acclaim looking to capitalise on the burgeoning extreme sports craze of the late 90s, after the mammoth success of the Pro Skater series, the publisher would collaborate with prolific BMX rider Dave Mirra to deliver freestyle BMX. As well as advising on the game, Mirra would bring sponsorships to the project, whilst luring other talent to sign on. While a first inspection will reveal its obvious inspirations quickly, Z-Axis would still deliver a fun time with many of the qualities that elevated these titles beyond mere cash-ins, let down by a lack of polish. Letting you choose from 10 different riders, including the titular star, Freestyle BMX sees you entering a handful of levels with wildly varying goals. The first half of the game sees you performing specific actions, be it jumping over objects, smashing electrical transformers, or earning a high score. These are tiered into 3 levels, with amateur being the easiest, while hardcore testing your skills and likely requiring better gear. The second half is more straightforward, as you partake in 2-round competitions which judge you on several factors: trick variety, limiting bails, and using all to the terrain helps win the day. The goals aren't too bad, often being clear and sometimes goofy in an extreme sports way, but the competition side of things can be irritating, as unpredictable scores from your opponents and no way to gauge your standing until the timer ends means you'll be restarting a lot. But this basic structure gets the job done, and with challenges for each rider available and rewarding unlockable characters and items, it's worth sticking with it. But how does Freestyle BMX feel to play? On the whole, it's solid. Steering your rider feels natural, with turning on the spot providing a nice manoeuvre to pull off. BMX tricks include grabs, flips, grinding, wall taps, and manuals, which allow for nice variety, and there's particular satisfaction in transitioning from a flip to a grab in one quick action. Manuals don't feel quite as intuitive, requiring a double tap just before you land from a jump and, often, not registering. Though in fairness, manuals don't prove as pivotal a move as in competing games. The only real sore spot of Dave Mirra's debut game is physics, which veer on the unpolished side. While you often feel at home riding around each level, odd bits of unpredictable terrain can cause headaches and lead you to bailing. This is particularly bothersome on competition stages, where bailing can have a big impact on your score. Most levels, luckily, avoid too much dodgy terrain, but later stages seem to suffer more from this. But on the whole, it's a fun time and should prove a decent starting point for those unfamiliar with the genre, with a very steady learning curve. Outside of Pro Quest mode, the multiplayer options available are quite in-depth. Most are turn-based, as you compete to outdo the other player, and there's some neat variations of more traditional modes. BMX is the same equivalent of Horse from the Pro Skater series. High Five gives you 30 seconds to perform the biggest scoring trick, and goofier modes also jump in, such as Wipeout, which puts the ragdoll physics to good use. You can also freely practice in free ride mode once you unlock levels in Pro Quest mode, and Session adds a 2-minute time limit to practice competition-esque runs. There's quite a bit here to enjoy, especially with a friend. Freestyle BMX's arrival on the Dreamcast would come less than 2 months after the initial PlayStation release, meaning it'd be ambitious to expect a huge leap. Despite this, Sega's system does lend a cleaner look to the game, with smoother character models, colourful environments loaded with details, and quicker loading. You can definitely still see the slower animations on show, but they get the job done. The only real quirk is performance, which sways between a full 60 frames per second to a lower 30 frames per second. But later levels can tax even further, with sudden swings around field geometry causing drops to single digits, which is not ideal when trying to keep a line. It doesn't break the game, but you will spot it almost immediately. The sound is virtually unchanged too, meaning sound effects are somewhat on the muffled side and there's no voice clips whatsoever, but the concise yet eclectic soundtrack featuring Sublime, Dropkick Murphys and Cypress Hill feels perfectly matched to the late 90s craze. Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX is a good deal of fun, and while some noticeable issues mean it doesn't quite scale the same heights as the more influential extreme sports games, those looking for a slice of late 90s extreme sports will find plenty to like here. The gameplay is solid, if a bit rough around the edges, while a bevy of content gives it decent legs. Only let down by the aforementioned lack of polish, most will likely find enjoyment, especially in some of the wackier multiplayer modes.